What's up, everybody? In this video, what we're going to be doing is talking about the big man. For those of you who don't know who Junior Dos Santos is, he's one of the most devastating heavyweight and UFC fighters of all time. He makes guys that look like this end up looking like this. He's basically the last guy you want to run into in a dark alley. Had an undefeated streak, challenged for the heavyweight title, and won. He then defended his title a few more times, and things were looking great. And then he had a rematch with the guy he won the heavyweight title from, this man. Dos Santos is probably one of the most devastating fighters, not only in the heavyweight division, but in UFC history. He crushes the competition. But what's complicated about the situation is he literally crushes everybody in the heavyweight division except for one. That's right, when Cain Velasquez rematched for the heavyweight title, he not only beat Junior Dos Santos, but he crushed Junior Dos Santos. He took Junior Dos Santos from looking like this to looking like this. So then when Junior Dos Santos decides to rematch Cain Velasquez for the heavyweight title, again, he goes in looking like this. He again comes out looking like this. Very much like George Foreman in his prime, he's one of the most dominant fighters alive, but there's just that one guy that seems to be get the upper hand on him. George Foreman to Muhammad Ali, Junior Dos Santos to Cain Velasquez. I can't stress enough that when Junior Dos Santos fights anybody who's not Cain Velasquez, he absolutely crushes them. So how does Cain Velasquez keep getting the upper hand on Junior Dos Santos? Well, what it is, it's a combination of his wrestling and his striking. Junior Dos Santos is probably one of the best strikers in the game today. But what Cain Velasquez does is he uses a formula where he threatens with his wrestling and will come up with his striking. Or if you think that he's going to come up with his striking, he then goes in for the takedown. So Junior Dos Santos, every time they fight, he never knows what Cain Velasquez is going to do. If he thinks he's going to wrestle him, he gets punched in the face. And every time he tries to defend himself from getting punched in the face, Cain Velasquez takes him down. So now that we know what the problem is when Junior Dos Santos faces Cain Velasquez, what's the solution? Well, the first option, he can say, you know what, I have so much pride. If I can't be number one, if I can't be the heavyweight champion and the best in the world, then I don't want to fight anymore. He retires. So the second option is you can be the most devastating gatekeeper of all time. Now when I say gatekeeper, essentially what that means is to get to the champion, you have to go through this guy who will always be number two. So the third option, and it's the one that I hope to see the most, Junior Dos Santos really analyzes what the problem is whenever he fights Cain Velasquez. He says, okay, every time he goes to strike, he goes down to wrestle. Every time I think he's going to wrestle, he comes up and punches me in the face. It's wrestling that's the main problem. He's one of the best in the world at so many of the different disciplines, except for wrestling. So basically he says, okay, if this is the problem, if I need to improve on my wrestling, how am I going to? So what does he do? He goes up into the mountains. He lives in a cabin, and in that cabin he brings Jordan Burroughs and Jordan Burroughs' team. Now, who is Jordan Burroughs? Jordan Burroughs won the gold medal at the last Olympics. So with him and his team, what they do is they go up and they live in the cabin for 9 months. And what they do is they train each other. Jordan Burroughs trains him on Olympic style and Olympic caliber of wrestling. After he has an Olympic style crash course in wrestling, then he can come down, look Cain Velasquez in the face and say, every single discipline I have now mastered. The hole that was in my game is no longer a problem, and he challenges him again for the heavyweight title. If he does that, that would be the scariest fight of all time. If that happened, Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez would undoubtedly have the greatest rivalry in sports history. Let me know what you guys think. Add comments below. Thanks for watching.